Well, hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining in on today's stream. There we are. So as you heard, that was the new version of the World 1 song. Pretty good, other than the loop being kind of janky, but we're working on that. How is everybody doing on this, I was gonna say lovely Saturday? It's fine enough. It's a Saturday, I guess. Weather could be worse. Just clean thing going. Get the music on. Playlist running. There we go. Alright, so today's goal, pretty simple. Today's goal, polishing / tutorial rework. So, that was something that Oro brought up, is that there's issues with the tutorials, and I think a lot of that does make sense. Especially because there's a lot of things that have been changed and tweaked since the tutorials have been made. So it's now dubious how effective those tutorials actually are. So we'll be looking at maybe tweaking those, making some changes to improve the overall tutorialization experience. So that'll be today's thing. Anyways, we got Mr. Jonas, Eli's Wacky Tunes, Enceladus 2 Multiplied, Eliza Lark, Mr. Jones, Eraser Paste, State Flower, and Ozzy. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, alright. So let's go ahead and start by going over some of the things that have been tweaked since last time. So if you saw the old videos for Timely Demise, you'll notice that it looks quite different now. So originally, the walls and stuff kind of had these were like the blue accents, and the walls were kind of more of a reddish orangey color. So I've changed it so that these are red accents on gray, because I think it gives more of that kind of hellish, volcano-y vibe that the world is supposed to have. And more importantly, it helps it stand out a lot more from some of the other world color palettes, because the first world already had red exteriors with blue highlights, and I didn't really want to run that thread again. So instead, using the blue as just parts of the gears, I think it makes it feel more distinctive. Also, we've got these spinny sticks. It's literally what they're called. They're called spinny sticks, to make the place feel a little bit more mechanical. So the whole place, I think, has come a lot better together. It feels a little more cohesive and more standout. I just realized that part is missing a texture, so let's fix that, why don't we? Set the brush size to 1, set all with an angle, then select all of these fellas, make sure we don't miss anything this time. There we go. There are more than likely going to be some bits and bobs that we miss, and will have to be tweaked and changed and stuff, more than likely. I like the new color scheme, gives us a more industrial vibe. Yeah, it feels more unique, and I think it fits the theme of the world a lot better. Yeah, outside of this one's not super great texture-wise, but yeah, it kind of has. I think it fits better with the other overall color palette too. Like if we go to the hub area and see it all in context, I think now like looking around from each world to each world, it stands out a lot better, and it's with its own kind of unique vibe. And then this is for you, Mr. Jonas, because you brought up maybe the ocean water could look a little bit more water-y. So let's go to Trainyard, because I did tweak the water visuals a little bit. And I think you were kind of right on that. I do think it looks a little stronger now, with this slight extra bit of watery texture. I really like how this looks. I think it feels sufficiently oceany. It's not too busy, which is good. It doesn't feel like it's kind of warbly. It doesn't take up too much of your sightline or become too detailed, but it's just the right amount of detail, I think, to work in a way that feels pretty nice. Feeling better if the wires were droopy. Well, they're not really supposed to be wires. They're supposed to be like parts of like the turning gears and sticks and stuff. So they're not really supposed to be like wires. So maybe a way to communicate it more, like maybe I could add like little gears and stuff to the parts of it to make it look more like they're those mechanical gear pieces. Okay, so let's get on to the actual, like, content production stuff of today. So, my list is pretty dang small for what's left to do. Why? Okay, that was weird. Controls were not working. So, I've started working on the credit sequence. That'll be pretty easy to make, but I kind of need to wait for everybody to respond. Anybody who's a patron or anything else, I need to get everybody's responses in for what they want their credit to say. So, gotta wait on that a little bit. Need to implement Steam achievements, which I believe should be fairly straightforward. Worst comes to worst, that can be post-launch because the achievements will still be functioning in-game, but I would like to have proper Steam achievements going. Let's see, World 4 got its visual tweaks. Tutorial rework, fix up some memorabilia visuals. I'll do that in my own time, they'll be kind of boring. Adding a couple extra things. Yeah, okay, so main things I think we'll probably want to be doing today is working on the unique ranking animations and the tutorial rework. So I'm thinking that'll be a good goal for today. Yeah, I think that feels good. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna fix a bug real quick. Let's go to the main menu. And then, so there's a little function that I've added in the UI, is it main menu or is it splash screen? I think it's in main menu. Or no, it was in splash screen, wasn't it? There it is, look at splash screen. Don't know why I couldn't see it, it was right there. So, I added a neat little function here. So if you click once, it's hard to see because it full screens, because of this thing, it messes up the resolution. But in the bottom right, it says click again to skip. So if you open it up, you can just click twice, bada bing, you're good to go. But the problem is, right now, if you don't click, that thing still sticks around. So if we get to the title screen, it'll still want to skip something that's not real. So I think what we'll want to do is let's say event construct. It'll automatically get rid of that at about, let's say when it starts to fade out. So right around 6 seconds? Yeah, let's say 6 seconds. So we'll delay for 6 seconds, and then we will set visibility, and we will collapse it. So collapsing something basically means it no longer exists or has collision within. Like you can't interact with it anymore. That's basically what it does. So if we just wait, then oh no, it's still there. Okay, no, it still does have collision, but it becomes unclickable, which then soft locks you. Whoops. Oh, we can just let's see. How do we want to do this? Remove child. See if that does it. So if we just give it a second. Then right around here. Nope, it still exists. Okay, that's not great. It's gonna be a used way to just, like, delete this. Delete. Delete element. No, that's not really looking for. Set is enabled. Set that to false, maybe? Yeah, it's right here. It's button 0. So how do we just give it no collision, essentially? I guess we could just try... Whoop. I guess we could just try disabling it. So it works right there if you just skip. Nope, still not working. Okay. I mean, you know what we could do? We could just delay another half second and then remove from parent. That'd probably work, right? Yeah, because then it's another 6 seconds, so then it takes... it takes about half a second to fade out. That should do it. That should do it. Nope. Okay, well, it did kind of just disappear there. Let's give that a second instead of a half second. So if you start clicking here, yeah, then it doesn't do anything, but then it does. Okay, easy fix. New color palette starting to grow on me now. Nice. Responded to your Patreon message. Cool. Didn't like it first, but now I do. Nice. Hey, Oro. Pretty simple. Just going over some of the color palette tweaks to World 4. Some slight changes to World 2, but today we're going to be working on the tutorial rework and other polished stuff. Oh, I gotta show you guys some of the changes I made to the hub area, actually. In the credits said Jimmy Double under Social Experiment. Could you listen to the World 5 soundtrack? Yes, you can. Let me get the audio balanced. There we go. It's a very interesting feel. A lot of the new music is quite calm. More calm than you'd expect for a speedrun game, but it kind of paradoxically kind of works when you're actually playing it. Although I think it could afford to maybe be a little bit faster, but music's kind of already done, so what are you gonna do? Okay, so let's go to the hub area. Take a little explore around there for a moment. So I've added a lot of little details here and there. So some places that had I've added this, so now you know how much power you need. Some places that were kind of missing some detail has it back now. Like I've re-added some of the posters and stuff in here that were missing. I've added a bunch of gorks to places, so like little spots where I've hidden the collectible coins that used to be kind of flat. Now they got these details like trees, and they got gorks. Mostly just adding gorks everywhere to make the place feel a little bit more populated. One of the tweaks that I made that I think is pretty fun is right up here. So I previously hadn't used these little table props anywhere else except for the final stage of World 3, but now we got these guys. Just hanging out here, having a little lunch on top of the tower. And then down here, we've also got some guys just hanging out with a little fire in a cave. Got like a little mini gork hangout here. There's a little couch there, I'll probably put some gorks on. Basically just a ton of gorks everywhere is the change here. And then the gork audience chamber. The King's audience chamber has gotten some changes. I've made a bunch of little chalk doodles that I've put up on the walls. So we got like a little gork couple here. Yeah, and then we've got the throne room, which is all gorked up now. So it's gotten a lot more fun. I'm really liking how the hub has come along. Feels way more alive and way more detailed now. Just having all the little dudes everywhere makes the whole place feel more substantive, even if it's really not anything actually of substance. But, you know, maybe still find some extra, like, spots. Like, up here I want to add some more detail, but I'm kind of run out of props. I've used them all already. Okay, one thing I want to show you guys that I'm super happy with is up here. Let's just teleport ourselves in here. Yeah, so this is a big old block. Whoopsies. Spawn myself on the wall. This is a big old block that goes away once you've cleared the previous level, so it forces you to actually play the levels in sequence. But check this shit out. Boom. Look at that. Isn't that such a sweet little effect? Everything lights up as you approach. Very happy with that. Chill Jazz, the speedrun game is a very interesting combo. It is, it's really weird. Making a third game in my FNAF series. Hope that's cool. Eli's Wacky Tunes. Having slow jazz music in a speedrunning game is actually awesome. It weirdly just kind of works. Will the player be told where the Gork King is, or do they have to find him? You just have to find him. Because it's pretty much a reward for exploration, so it's having him, like, the tokens are all about exploration, so having to explore to find him, I think, fits pretty well. Can you post the World 5 theme in Discord, because I can't really hear it? Yeah, I can post it. That's a fair point, it is kind of hard to hear. It's kind of hard to hear in the background, to be background music while I'm talking. Yeah, if you remind me once the stream's over, I'll post that in there. Okay, so that's what we're at. Okay, so let's do some unique ranking animations. This might be a little convoluted in how I have to code it, but we'll see what it takes. Just shoop, shoop. A little dust going on. Okay, so let's go. Let's just go to level 1. That's a level we could pretty easily test on. So we're gonna go to Windmill 1-1, not 1-1 Proto. Not this one. You know, we'll play real quick. Because I'm easily distractible. Yeah, this is the ancient times. The olden times. This is the kind of first level I made for the game. It's kind of confusing and weird. I don't really know why I made a lot of the decisions that I made. I mean, this part is cool, because you have to, like, juke around. But, man, this level's so fucking weird. Doesn't really have, like, a whole lot of sense to it, it just kinda is. I forgot about this guy. Well, see ya. Yeah, and the X-ray doesn't work at all. You can't see the floors or ground or anything when you're in X-ray mode. Okay, now to the level I was intending to go to. 1-1 revamp. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the combo. Yeah, the HUD combo meter. So this is where the level clear anim takes place. So it's very, very simple. It's just shoom, shoosh, boom. Simple, it's effective. I think it works fine enough, but it could use a little bit more pizzazz. And shadows ruin everything. Yeah, the art style didn't really work with shading. It looks better with the flat everything. There's a reason we pivoted from that. Okay, so what I'm thinking we do here, though, is we've got the level clear anim, and what I think we're gonna want to do is delete the part of the animation that moves down the mediocre, and then we'll keep this part, like everything else moving in as such, but the way the logo will move will be different, and I think we'll get some custom sound effects and stuff. Probably not anything super crazy. I'm not exactly a great animator, so I want to keep things to my skill set. But have something that has a little more pizzazz, so if you get a Voltaic or a Voltaic Plus, it feels a little bit more rewarding. But you still have the original 1-1 level in the files. That's kind of cool. I like having it there for, like, archival purposes. It's nice to be able to look back at it. I'll do some pruning and stuff of unnecessary files for, like, release versions, though. Although I can guarantee you there's definitely going to be some things that I forget to remove. But file size is not going to be very big, so not a huge concern, personally. But I'll do some pruning. Okay, so let's make a new animation. Make a couple new animations. We'll call it Mediocre, Potent, Voltaic, Voltaic Plus. Got all of our ranks covered. So what we can do is grab this guy. Should be this part here, yeah? I believe it's this part. Or what is it? I mean, it is rank, right? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so if we grab all of this, if we cut it... Yeah, cut it out, and then put it here. If we... no, we can't paste... Whoa, what happened there? Paste it. There we go. Yeah, so it goes swoosh. Bam. So, what we can do here is to make sure that it still works out together. Then we can... where does it play the animation? I haven't looked at this in a while. Yeah, set visibility, set game paused, delay, play the sound. Okay, yeah. So what we'll do here is we will play animation, and we'll say animation mediocre. And then we'll set up a system so it actually plays the correct individual animations, but for now, this will do the trick. So I've got a little hotkey right here for debugging. So if I hit V, it'll instantly clear the stage. So yeah, it works as it should, which is good. We'll take Plus again, one of those old YouTube channel intros. Yeah, it'll be, we gotta get like some custom dubstep in there. MIDI-core. It does look like mediocre. Or Medicore. It does say Metacore, you're right. I thought you were just making a joke. No, it does, I did spell that. Wait. No, it's mediocre, not Metacore. You're right. That's very funny. It'll be cool light turning on sounds for the corridor sequence. Yeah, those are already in there. I just have the sound off of the game for doing streams, because it's really loud and kind of distracting. Okay, so let's copy paste this a couple times, just so we have a starting fundamental ground to work off of, because we know we want the color opacity to be the same. Primarily what we're going to want to change is the movements. So we want it to trigger around here, get to its spot sometime before this, and then we can work with it. Okay, so what do we want to do for Potent? Probably should have thought this through, but whatever. We can make tweaks and stuff later once we've got the ideas all together. So for mediocre, I think it should stay as is. Slides in pretty simply. Although you know what I think would be fun. If we go to 425, let's lock in the angle at 0. So it'll be like that, and then set it to, say, -5. Let's say 10. Yeah, so it's like, and then let's lock in the translation, and just slightly. Oops, no, I said slightly. Say 660. 665. Wow. It's like, you know, it's like, maybe lower it down a little bit more, because I kind of want to make it feel like it's not just rotating in place, but it's like going down. Let's say 675. Yeah, I think that kind of has it. Yeah, kind of feels like it's in the same place. It's just rotating slightly. So it feels like it's like a little squeaky, it's off its hinges or whatever. I think we want to delay that a little bit longer, actually, because you kind of lose the effect. Yeah, lose that effect slightly. So let's just pull these guys out to maybe about here. I keep doing them because it's fun. Yeah, I think that works. Should I hire Skrillex to make the soundtrack? Okay, so now we got our whack going on. So now what do we want to do for good old Potent? Oh, hold on, the angle's off kilter now. There we go. Okay, so Potent, I think, could probably just be this. It could probably just stay as is, like the go in, you get your rank. Don't know if it really needs anything too complicated there. Yeah, I think Potent can probably stay as is. But Voltaic and Voltaic Plus, these need a little bit of extra sauce to it, you know? The MWAP should only happen for mediocre. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you'd have the little that only happens on mediocre. Potent, it's as it was before, and then Voltaic and Voltaic Plus get new ones, and also get some custom sound effects in there for when the MWAP happens, for when if there's some other cool things that happen. That's what we're thinking. Okay, but now how do we make Voltaic stand out? This has got to make you feel good, you know. This is a big deal. So how are we gonna make the player feel like, oh shit, I'm the greatest? You know, how are we gonna do that? And I don't know. That's what we gotta think about here. So it goes down. Then, you know, you get the little explodey effect. Because everything wobbles a little bit, but that'll happen because it's connected to the overall thing. Because in the level clear anim, it does this whole shake, because the entire panel that it's a part of will shake. So that part of the animation is already handled. So I'm thinking maybe we could do something like, it goes, I don't know why I'm pointing, I'll use my mouse. It goes like, whoosh, 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 something like that. So it's like zooming across, so it's like, zoom, 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 zoom. Zooming across a couple times. That'd be kind of cool. So like, here, let's get rid of that key right there. So we'll say something like, say half a second. So 1.25 seconds. Goes down. Goes zhoosh. And then how are we gonna get it to smoothly go from spot to spot? I guess we could try to not do a curve and just do like a snap. Because the next place we want it to get is ideally right here. Or we could actually have it just move through. That could be kind of good. Like one of these sort of things going on. So it's like whoosh, whoosh, zhoosh, zhoosh. And then it's like zoom. It's like woo, 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 woo. And then it ends up right in the middle. A little bit of that action, yeah? It does feel a little slow, perhaps. Maybe it needs to be a little faster. I think it's a cool idea, but maybe we need to mess with the timing to make it feel a little more fast, a little more quick. Yeah, let's get another. Yeah, I think speeding it up will make it look better. Also, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can stop myself from going. Nope, that looks like shit. That sucks. That's bad. I don't like that at all. Okay. Well, that stunk. New idea. We're gonna reset. We're gonna conceptually do a reset. Voltaic just gets really big. We could have it sort of like fall down, kind of like the title screen things do, like in the logo splash screen animations. Like something like this could be good, where it's like, and then it does a little shake on landing. That could feel good. It's like boom. That could be good. When the mwap happens, quote of the year. Rank can move in quickly and smear while moving. Has to be a 1% chance when getting mediocre for it to make the mwap sound. I think it should be a 100% chance of getting the mwap sound. Should I just make the mwap with my mouth instead of using like an actual sound effect? To fade in really big and spin and shrink to its correct size. Yeah, I think that would look nice if it's something like this. I think a spin could be cool. Let's start with just the scaling first. Okay, so based on these animations, we would like it to be finished around 2 seconds. So, yeah, let's start by getting the position. I think we can go ahead and delete these keys here. So we'll start by setting it into the approximate position we want it to be in. So let's start by translating it downwards. Yeah, right about there is where we want it to be. Set the scale to maybe 5 by 5. Sure. And then we're going to want to set the render opacity. There we go. And start by having that out at 0. And then the animation will start at around 75 seconds. Or 0.75 seconds. Yeah, so we want the opacity to skip up to 1. So what we can do for that is to go 1 forwards and set that also be to 0. So it basically would blink in to whatever one we want it to start at. So we could do like 0.25, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. And then here at 2 seconds, then it could be at 1. At scale, we'll have it at 5.5. And then here, we'll have it be to 1.1. I think we should probably speed that up a little bit. So we could scoot all this forwards a little bit. Then we can have a little bit of shake on it. Zoom. Zoom. So render opacity is not quite doing what I would like it to do. It's a little odd. Set it at 2.1. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay, let's set the angle here to 360. And then here we'll set it to 0, so that way it'll do a full rotation. Get a nice zoom. Nice. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll get the translation. I think it'll go probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so keyframes, what we want it to do. Because it'll shake about like that quick. Yeah. So we'll set the translation again, right here. So we want that to stay where it is. And then for here, we can just do a little bit of adjustment to each one. So a little bit of adjustment. To sort of make it feel like it's quaking and shaking. Yeah, so we get this nice little shake when it lands. Okay, let's see how that looks. I don't know if I love the little shake, actually. I think it kind of feels a little jarring. Try getting rid of the shake. See how that looks. Yeah, I think that's nice. If anything, I do wish... I think it would benefit from being pulled back a little bit. So what if we have this at 2? Maybe it being slower actually would work better. Let's deselect you guys. Just select these keyframes here. Nope, hold on. This is the song that's always really fucking loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. It just sounds loud and it feels loud. Ooh, I think it actually works better slower. I think the slight, like it feels weightier, you know? mean, it's Vine Boom. Okay, I'm seeing 3 yeses. I'm assuming that's for doing the mwap sound. Mwap for president. Off topic, can you do your best trumpet impression? No. Rest of the components could shake too. That is a good idea. I've kind of set it up in a way that doesn't really work out that great. Maybe we'll save the shake for Voltaic Plus, though. Because you need something to distinguish a Voltaic and a Voltaic Plus. Pop. Give me that. Give me that. Give me this. Give me this. Fuck you, buddy. Sorry, I just got distracted. Okay, so we got a pretty decent little Voltaic animation. But now what are we gonna do for Voltaic Plus? It's gotta be something with even more pizzazz. It's copy. For some reason, it doesn't seem like the... Okay, so now the keyboard shortcuts feel like working. Cool. So what do we do to make Voltaic Plus feel a little bit more special, you know? Maybe we make the spin more erratic. Maybe we make it even larger, you know? It's like... You know? Like it's got an even larger spin. It takes longer to get in. It could be kind of like a redux of what we were trying to do, where it goes like across, slam down. It's like, yeah, but I'm having a hard time visualizing how that would actually look good. Okay, you know what? Let's just try it. Worst case scenario, we just do a redux of this guy. Okay, so let's set the scale back to 1:1. Render opacity back to 1. Yeah. Oh, there we go. You know, we'll get rid of... Alright, we'll just get rid of these. We'll redo that part. But we'll keep the opacity somewhat the same. Whoops. Actually, no, we can get rid of the opacity, too. I mean, pretty much we'll just redo the whole animation, basically. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If we start over here... Because I liked what somebody was saying about having it smear. I think Eliza Lark said that. So, again, we want it to start at around 0.75. So if we do that, and then it very quickly zooms across to the other side of the screen. But I think something that could make that look better is if we've got the scale a little bit weird. So if we stretch it out a bit vertically and squish it a little bit. So it's kind of like this. Then right here it's like 1:1. So it's like meow, meow. That might make the ups and downs work better if it feels squished either way. Voltaic Plus could literally shatter the other components. What if it's a boomerang? Special effect idea blows up your PC. That's what, you know, I really want to reward my players. If you're good enough to get a Voltaic Plus, I'm gonna blow up your entire computer setup. Because you deserve that. Okay. So let's do translation. And then we'll do another translation. So we don't really want that to warp here. You'll see it move. Break, maybe? Break? Nah, you can still see it. You can still see it. Okay, stupid idea, but it'll work, I bet. We just have it move around the outside, and I think that works, right? You wouldn't see it? Yeah? Sure, that works. It's kind of dumb, but it'll work. It'll do the job. Okay, then we do another upwards one. It's like... Whew, whew. Yeah, we'll have you stay where you are, actually, briefly. I think I want you to also stay here. Yeah, so it'll stay right down there, and then zip across back up. Okay, but then what we'll do here is we'll set the scale here to 0.85 and set you to 1.25, or 1.25, there we go. So that way it feels like it's stretching across, you know? So if we zoom in and we kind of fill our screen with the way it would look, it's like... That's kind of cool. I think that works. And then, if we get into render opacity, then we're going to set that to 0, set before to 1, and right here, 0. Okay, that's not really what I'm trying to tell you to do, but 1 here, and then, okay. Guess we don't want to work with me? Is that what we're doing here? Okay, so, you know, we can work backwards on this. I think it'll be easier. So if we put you right here, scale, scale, there we go, render opacity, 1. Oh, translation, like that, there we go. So that'll be that. Okay, and then we'll snap ahead to be 5, 5. Then like this. We do kind of want it to just warp visually, basically. So we set the render opacity here to 0. No, why is it not keying the render opacity? It's not. Yeah, it's not rendering the. It's not doing the render opacity properly. Why is it not showing up as a key? It's really weird. There we go. Now it's showing up as a key. That was strange. Okay, we'll set the key here as 0. And then this key will be 1. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now it does feel kind of choppy. So we'll just extend that out a little bit to about here. Oh. Hold on. Not quite. Not quite. Hold on. This looks so strange. I think it'll look good in practice when it's going around the edge of the screen properly. We have the rest of the effects in, but it looks quite weird right now. I will be the first to admit. Oh, I see what I should do here. Yeah, if we want the render opacity to be 0 there, then it fades in. Yeah. Yeah. So we play it like this. You see what the effect is. Okay. Let's grab the rank guy right there. Then we'll set the angle to be 360. Slams down. 0. Yeah. Okay, let's see what that looks like in motion. In practice. Oh, now hold on. Oh, because the render opacity is still 0. Oopsies. Right, I forgot that wasn't applying properly. Okay, now we can see it. Okay, the opacity was still kind of messed up there. Because it... Oh yeah, it starts disappearing right there. Yeah, we want it to stay at an opacity value of 1 up until this point. And then it snaps to 0. Yeah. That actually works really nicely. I think that's good. I think the white fade out doesn't quite work. Nah, actually, I think it splashing down as it fades in is actually kind of a cool look. Oh, right, it deleted all the old animation parts. Right. Okay, yeah, and then... why are you invisible? Oh, it's because of the render opacity, probably? Yeah. Whoops. Select you, deselect the animation. Yeah, it needs to be 1 by default. There we go. Okay, now we're good. Yeah, now it's visible again. Okay, so what I was trying to do is 3.95 and then 4. Okay, so what we need to do here is grab this key for tint, or for color and opacity, that's what it is. Yeah. So at 3.95, we need to, key that in as black, and then put another key afterwards as white, and since it's green inherently, it'll just show up. Or, whatever color it is will just show up because it's got a white tint, basically. So a tint of nothing. Okay, but now what we gotta do, there's always more steps of this, is key that, start as black. Nice. Pretty pleased. Okay, I think that'll work pretty good. At least for now. If we want to put some extra pizzazz on it, we can do that. But just want to have the basis of this in, so I can do some extra, put some extra sauce on it later if we need to. So now the problem is... yeah, so I definitely did some weird code here with how the player is handled. So let's go to stop timing. Yeah, so this is when it renders all that in. So we'll stop timing, it'll give you the time, it'll check for your rank, it'll set rank, potent, mediocre, whatever. Okay, so what we can do here is once it does this set rank, which will update that, what we can do is create a new variable. Yeah, we'll make a new variable, and that will be an integer, and we'll call this guy rank gotten. So what we can do here is in the first-person player, or in these sections, what we can do here is set rank gotten, and this will give us basically just a number we can use to check which one should be which. So Voltaic is 3, Voltaic plus is 4, Potent is 2, and Mediocre is 1. So now we have a number that tells us what each rank is. So this we can use to trigger the correct animation. So if we do a switch on int, and then plug in our newly made rank gotten, what we can do here is, depending on whatever value that the integer has, we can plug it out and then play a different animation, depending on which one we want to play. So, for instance, we're going to have a default, and this one can be, we'll just say potent is our default, so in case it fails, in case something doesn't update properly, it'll still play an animation. And we can do the same thing for 0, which shouldn't happen, should never be 0, but that'll be a good backup option, just in case. Then let's just expand these a little bit. So we need all 4 of our options here. So plug in 1, plug in 2, plug in 3, and we plug in 4. like so. Okay, so if it is a 1, then it should play the mediocre animation. If it is a 2, it should play the potent animation. If it is a 3, it should play the voltaic animation. And if it is a 4, it should play the voltaic plus animation. Okay, let's see if that works just straight off the back without any debugging. Okay, so it didn't. That should have been voltaic plus. Okay. What if we delay you by half a second, so that way we let the other pieces of the code run first? Yeah, okay. Let's slightly change the delay. Okay, we'll have to fix that. But yeah, if we give it a slight delay, it'll have time to update properly. Cool, now put it in the spaghetti code. Yeah, a little spaghetti. Although I'd say this is honestly a fairly elegant solution. It looks not great, but it's pretty simple and effective, relatively speaking. It could be much worse. Is all I'll say. Okay, so let's wait a second just to see if the animations will work properly. Whoop. Yeah, so it plays the voltaic animation properly. It does jank out a little bit there where it doesn't seem to quite render that properly. Whoops. Let's just play through the level and get the other ranks so we can... Actually, I've got a better idea for this. Let's go to Maps, Tutorial for Deathplane. Because this is one that I can pretty easily check the different rankings on. Just by waiting around a little bit. Because the stage is so short. And then... Wow. Nice. And then I should get a potent if I just do this. Yeah. Woo! So how does it feel to be the only Unreal Engine 5 user that isn't making an ultra-realistic bloated mess? A lot of those games can be good. I like Unreal, but I think that it has a lot more potential that people overlook, to be sure. Void Collector RTX. Make all the enemies look human. Yeah, I'll give, what's it called? The, subsurface scattering on Bouncer. It's like the effect where, like, if you shine a flashlight through your hands, you can, like, see red through, like, the translucency of your skin. So I'll make Bouncer slightly translucent when put under the right lights. Also, this is something else I added. A little particle effect around the end of the level, just to let you know where it is. A little more easily. I think it's nice. I think it's a nice little effect. Okay, so what we need to do, I think, is if we set you to have a default render opacity of 0, but then in your animations, then set one there, and then set it to 1 here, set it to 1 here. Oh, no, 0, actually. Yeah, no, because you already... Yeah. Yeah, that one works. I just realized it's impossible to get Voltaic on this level, because you can only ever get Voltaic Plus, because you'll drop your combo anyways. Hello? Where'd you go, Mr. Potent? Or was that mediocre? No, mediocre should still be visible. I don't know why it's still entirely invisible. That's weird. So wait a second. Yeah. Okay. What if we just do this? What if we set render opacity to 1? Right here. And then the animation can do the rest of the heavy lifting. So, I think past 5 seconds. Okay, I think we got it. That was weird. Just got a little water splashed up on my lip. But it's a very deep water bottle. I don't know how it got all the way up there. It's like, water levels are right here, I think. Yeah, the elusive rank. Okay, nice. I'm gonna add in unique rank animation sound effects. That is something I want to do. But other than that, I think that this is looking pretty good. We just need to get some extra sound effects and a little bit of occasional visual flair here. But I think it's pretty good. It still does blink in a little there, which is not great. And the timing on that does seem a little off. When it will, I'm not sure why that's off now. Yeah, we'll fix that before we move on. Yeah, it still blinks. Yeah, you can see it there. It's just a little second too late. Oh, it's because of the delay here now. Yeah, that makes sense. What if we set it to like 0.01? So it still has time to update. Yeah, okay, there we go. It doesn't need to be a big delay at all. Just enough delay to let the other pieces of the code run to update the animations. Cool. Nice and easy fix. But the more difficult fix, I think, is going to be how do we get this thing to work properly? This little son of a bitch. Could just do it like this. So we cut this part out. And then hook this up into this delay. Set it to like 0.1. And then 3.9. Everything can be fixed with minor delays. Yeah, see, look at that. Whoop. Okay, there we go. Oh no, I leaked my desktop again for like the 4th time. Now you're gonna know that I play Fightcade. Oh shit. No! You're gonna know that I'm cool. Okay, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? What's your problem? What's your beef with me? Okay. I don't know why this is being so janky. What are they setting your render opacity to 1 here, man? You gonna work for me now? Brother. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting peeved here. I'm getting a little miffed. Okay, alright. I think we're good now. Let's wait. I think 7 seconds is mediocre. Yeah. Nice. Okay, I no longer have to be upset. Sound design stream? That'd be fun. Perhaps see your sound design process? No. Probably not for this one. It's very loud and kind of tedious and abrasive. And I'm embarrassed about how stupid it is, so no. The ranks yearn to be invisible. Adding if to my vocabulary. I wouldn't. These streams are bad for the collective IQ of the viewers. Tip. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change this. So one of the this is all oblong. So one of the issues I was running into with these guys is that the little tip there that would kind of jank out whenever you entered it. Although clearly now it's I changed some things because I'm gonna rework that system entirely. So you know, let's go ahead and tweak that actually. That way it doesn't appear at all. So the idea is that for the tutorial stages, because we might as well get onto this, because that's our next goal for today is the tutorial reworks. Is that you'd walk into it, it would bring the little thing down. You walk out of it, it plays the animation to bring it out. Problem being that you could pretty easily walk from one into another super quickly, and then it would jankily bring it down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and it didn't look great. Another issue is that I thought that having a thing move down at the top of your screen would kind of draw your eye to it. Problem is, players kind of looking right here in the middle of the screen where their cursor is, typically. I mean, makes sense, it's where the cursor is. It's kind of where you're intended to be looking. But I thought the motion would sort of draw the player's eye upwards. Turns out that was wrong. Even by having this big thing pop down into the player's vision, very often players would just not end up seeing it properly. So that's a bit of a problem. So another issue, I think, is that the way the tutorials are laid out is a little bit strange. It's not super janky, but let's go to the hub, and I can explain a little bit of my thought process and maybe about how I plan on tweaking things and fixing things and improving things. So right now, it's movement, weapons, and cells, which I don't think is a bad split up, but I think it would be more effective if we had them split up like this. If we had maybe fundamentals, and then we had, something like that. So it's like fundamentals, and then weapons / controls, like hand techniques. So fundamentals would be things like movement, maybe introduce a bouncer and like the X-ray function of like defeating all the cells, all the very, very basics you need to beat a simple level. So that'll be like, hey, that's basically it. So like you'd have your pistol or whatever, you'd have your uppercut, and that would be enough to get you by. And it would teach you how to use your charge dash, it would teach you how to use your slammer, all of that, the basics there. Hey System Fan, hope you're doing well. So that's what I'm thinking we could do for a revamp of tutorial level 1. And I actually did work on one, a revamped level 1 tutorial that ended up getting scrapped because it was gonna play before you, like after the intro sequence, before you fall out of here. But I felt like just letting the player engage in the tutorial if they wanted to worked better, but we could potentially reuse that level if it ends up fitting well. So we'll go back and look at that. It's been probably about a month or two since I've looked at that, but it might be what we need. So obviously that feels like a bit more of a complete stage and teaches you the fundamentals of the game rather than just the movement. So fundamentals, weapon / hand techniques, and then maybe cell dictionary or something. So have a level where you can exit it at any time. Something like that. That here out of the way. But what you could do essentially is it would have like 4 different sections, little corridors that you could take that would have each of the area's main signs above them, and they would unlock progressively as you go through the game. So each area would become open as soon as you've beaten a level from that world, or if you've beaten all the levels in a previous world maybe, then you could go into that world section in the cell dictionary and see all the enemies there in their own natural habitat, and you could test stuff. That might be nice. That's kind of what I'm thinking, basically. And another thing I'm going to do, in the current situation, I've removed them, but it would bring down little pop-ups, little visual pop-ups, and that would say, hey, press shift, press space, press whatever. Now, big problem with that is that, again, people's eyes weren't really drawn to it, so I think I'll make some custom graphics to put on the walls, like little posters and things that'll say, hey, press blank to do whatever, or use blank for controls. Probably won't have it dynamically adapt to your key bindings. It's just a little bit out of the scope of what we have time-wise right now. I think it's a little, to make it all work like that, it's a little, not quite in our thing. So, anyways, let's take a look at that level that I made. Should be in here? Yeah, big tutorial is what I called it, because this was supposed to be a tutorial that would play, like, first and foremost. Yeah, so this would be, like, your proper introduction to the game and its systems. So you'd fall down here. Yeah, so you'd be right in here. Then you'd walk up these slopes. Press space to jump. And then this would teach you about shooting. Did I still... Yeah, okay. I think ideally this will be the pose that the player starts out with. So you spawn in here. Definitely want to change the colors and stuff around. So I have a mural on the wall that tells you how to jump. Some right here that teaches you how to shoot. This will teach you about your shift button. And you have your jab here. Then you do a super jab. Then you got the end portal. But it'll say, you're missing a cell, go back to start or continue. So this will teach you about how this system works. So it'll be like, hey, and then right here we can have a thing that says, hey, missing a cell, press X to locate where they are. So they're intentionally obscured through a couple of walls. And it's a bouncer, so they're non-hazardous. You can use pretty much any weapon you want, and it's easy peasy. Ultra kill Riff? In what way, might I ask? Whenever you mispronounce a word, I start saying it, and then my friends start saying it, and then their friends start saying it, and my mom starts saying it, and it spreads, and I will not stop. That's scary. And you see a Rise of Kingdoms ad with Void Power. What is... I probably know what you're talking about, because I've seen, shitty mobile game ads. You know, I don't know if I've seen this game's mobile ad specifically, but I can probably imagine what it's like. I know I've seen the ads where it's like, I've got 10 million power in Rise of Kingdoms Challenger. I used code 50 free spins to get yada yada. Wood planks blocking hallway. Okay, I assume you're mostly joking, but I don't think Ultra Kill invented the idea of blocking a doorway with wooden planks. Okay, but I think this works pretty good. So if anything, I think maybe there's some other controls that could be introduced more good-like. Let's see, but what? We could rework this section a little bit, so... No, I think this actually having the curve around is probably is good enough as its own little challenge, but what we could do is to get to the bouncer, we could extend this section out a little bit. Because I was thinking about something that Oro said, and I think it's a good point that there's not only do you don't really have to use the slammer in the tutorial, it's not really super beneficial to you to use it there, whereas if we have a situation like this, hold on, this way, there we go. Okay, so this section is free. Yeah, we got some real estate here. Reset from actor, set scale to 200. Okay, so let's start by trimming the roof off here just so we can see what we're working with. And punch a hole right here. And leave that wall there. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking we can do as a proper challenge to show the player how the slammer works more effectively. If we trim a lot of this section backwards, what I'm thinking we could do is put down a super launcher, like right here. Maybe extend this out a little bit more. You know, we'll keep it up to this part so it's not interfering with that part of the building. And we'll move you out of the way for later. Okay, so if we move you over here, shift you around to the middle. So what I'm thinking here is that you'll hit the super launcher, it'll send you flying out this way. And then what we can do is a little bit of this. Boom. Boom. Let's go down a little further, actually. One more. So we can do something like this. Then what I'm thinking we do is something like that. So if we do that... Oh shit, it's a separate layer. Shoot. Didn't mean to make it its own mesh. Have to redo it real quick. So it's all contiguous. There we go. Okay, so drag it out. Boom. There we go. Okay, so let's see how far this takes us. Yeah, so this will send you pretty much flying clear past it. You know, we can even pull this in closer, just by a little bit. Then we can punch a hole right through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll trim this part too. Man, I love Cube Grid. I'm gonna miss it when I have to use actual, like, proper level designing software and, like, making my models in, like, Blender or whatever, and I can't just slap it all down as cubes. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna have to actually make good, well-optimized geometry. Ugh. Gotta go, might return, might not. Well, thanks for dropping in, System Fan. Would you include a fan art section in the hub? Maybe. I'm a little reluctant to include too much fan-made stuff in the actual game itself. Don't really know why, just kinda am. But I'm not, I wouldn't say no definitively. But I think maybe I'd prefer to do that via something like a fan art contest or something. And then, like, the winners of that could be included in the game itself. That might be a good way to do it. Because I also don't want to be, like... I feel like doing something like that also runs the risk of like, people being like, hey, why'd you include this but not mine? The heck? So if there's, like, a contest or something where the rules are kind of more laid out, and then that's what gets included, I think that would maybe make more sense to people. Okay, but I think this will work pretty good. Because it's if you don't work with it properly, I think you probably could fling yourself if you hold back right away. No, but you could rein in your speed properly. But the idea is that you'd use the slammer to properly orient yourself there. Okay, now we've got that sealed off. Cool. And then we can add a corridor right here. Actually, we'll cut this out for now. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, but now I feel like this more effectively teaches you how to actually use the slammer effectively. Yeah, I like that more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this is probably where we're gonna move the X-ray tutorial. Yeah, so you'll go like right here. And then if we build up our walls here, actually, slightly different idea. I think this will probably make the level flow a little better too. If we make it a little bit of a maze, not really a maze, but kind of like a maze, just a subtle maze-ish quality to it. Something like this. So it's like, hey, you can use the X-ray to see where the enemies are. And then it's like, oh, okay, and then you press it, and you'll see them through the walls here. It's like you maneuver through. Don't add that one to the dictionary. Don't. I know what you're thinking right now, Eraser. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, and then we can do this. Yeah, so then you get up on top of the roof here. And then up here, we can have a little drop down. Right on top of the exit goal. And you can be like, hey, look for sparkles. They indicate the end of the level. I think that would be pretty darn, if I say so myself, pretty darn clever. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, wait, no. Don't close that part off. We'll put a floor here first. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, my nose so itchy. Yeah, About that high. Ah, yeah, we can extend this across. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then build this guy up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two, three, four, five, 6. Go. Then build our roof over the maze portion. There we go. Yep, I think that works pretty good. Yep. Then extend this part across, like so. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. If anything, I think we can just extend this part out a little bit more. Okay, nice. Okay, let's grab the bouncer. Get him into position. The little end of our maze here. And the cool thing about this is I think this will also make the level more fun to speedrun. Right now it is a little basic. But what you can do here is if you get to this section, you can go huh, huh. Now you can do a cool little skip. You can go bam. Now it makes the level a lot more interesting. As a speedrun. Got cool little strats. Did you cast some kind of wizard spell on me? I just instantly forgot what you said. How'd you do that? You said navigate. Fuck. No, I thought it was safe. Oh gosh. I jammed myself in a wall. Okay, let's grab the player start. Wherever the heck that is. There it is. I just dragged that entirely the wrong way. Yeah, let's get it in here. You know, I think I could probably just start the player down. Start the player down here. The falling effect is cool, but I ended up just using that for the hub area instead. Okay, yes, you start right here. Got this little funnel thing above you. It's kind of cool looking. Okay, so imagine this. It'll say like WASD to move. A little poster on the wall there. Okay, we walk up here. Space to jump. Okay, let me just do a little press left click to shoot. Or to attack. And then it'll say press shift. Oh, that's kind of a problem. But the particles are getting through. Then it'll say this guy launches you. This guy launches you far. Or maybe I don't even need a sign for those guys. Maybe it's kind of intuitive. Exactly. Dang, is the pollen index off the charts today or something? Why is my nose so itchy today? It's starting to get on my nerves. To be real with you. And you know what? I actually think that something that'll make this work really well is that having this section here kind of teaches you to more be on guard for shortcuts. So yeah, then it'll be like, where do we put? We can put the billboard like right here. So it'll be like, hey, press Control to stop all of your midair momentum. You can use that to more precisely maneuver yourself. So we got that as a little bah, and you got a lot of space here, gives you some practice, and if you miss it, then you can go down here. Yada yada. Easy, speasy. And I think this is much better at telling you how it actually works, because being able to fall faster is nice, but the more useful function is being able to instantly stop all your momentum. So I think this is a much more effective way to teach the functions of the slammer. And then you fight your bouncer, which, again, non-lethal, no hazard, you're fine. It'll have a little X-ray thing there that teaches you how that works. And then, look at that, shortcuts exist. Boom. Welcome back, System Fan. Should make a debug mode. I do have debug functions coded in. I don't have a dedicated debug mode, which I will probably do on the next game I make. But I think it's a little late now to do debug mode. Like I've got things like the V button, which just instantly clears the level, which, let me tell you, really, really good for testing things. Makes a lot of things much easier to test, instead of having to actually clear the levels over and over to like test if a bug has been fixed or not. Love equivalent exchange. One time while half asleep I said marticles instead of particles. I don't think that'd be that's something I think I would say too. Isn't it better to teach X-ray earlier when you first reach the portal? So my thoughts was that since X-ray is mainly for pointing you towards enemies, it would make sense here when you enter this maze section, be like, hey, press X to see where enemies are, and you can see like, oh, he's through the wall. So I can go navigate around. So if you have it like right there, I think it more effectively gets the message across. But if it doesn't work, then I can shift it towards the portal. Because like right here, I don't want to have too much information thrown at the player at any given time. So my thought right here is that it's like, hey, look for sparkles, and you'll know you're near the portal. By the way, make sure you've killed every enemy, or else the portal won't work. So I don't really want to tell the player, hey, look for the sparkles. Although maybe I don't need to say that. I think that's probably pretty obvious by having these just be around the portal. So maybe I could just have something here that's like, make sure you defeated every enemy before you can leave. And then right here we'll have the sign that says that. And then right here it has the sign for that. So I would generally prefer to do things one at a time, and I think that order of operations makes a little bit more sense. But I'm just rambling now. Oh, wait a second, I just realized we're at 10,100 subscribers. Hell yeah. Oh shit, I'm at 10,100 on the dot. It's definitely going back down. Ah shit, it's not gonna last long. Okay. So one thing I want to do, I want to change the aesthetics of these levels a little bit. So let's go to the hub area so I can just get a little reminder for myself how I'm doing it. Because I think the aesthetics of using the signed material and the dark stone, I think, looks a little bit more good. Although let's edit the materials here. Let's get Hellgrass Super Dark. And we'll just use that on these bits and bobs. There we go. Yeah. Now we've got a bit of a better depth shadow contrast here. And while we're at it, actually, I think we want to set this to Hellgrass, which might already be Hellgrass. It is already Hellgrass. Okay. So what we want to do then is grab these parts and set them to Hellgrass Dark. Yeah, there we go. Now if we look at it right here, you can see this part is clearly darker, this part is darker, this part is lighter. It's good. You really want you to press space. Oh yeah, I don't know if I've ever explained this, but the way that these things work, the big text renders, I type in the text and it updates it to whatever the text it's supposed to be, because otherwise I have to make a custom graphic for every single piece of text that appears, which is really tedious. So I just have these things that are variables and are updated once upon level call, which is really easy, very, very inexpensive, because it's it's not running anything to render, it's just running a material, which is still rendering it, but it's much cheaper to render. I'm rambling. Okay. Go. Just trying to get these guys all nice and close to the wall. So that way they're not conspicuously floating. There we go. Okay, so let's rework you a little bit. Shrink it down a little so it fits better. Yeah. Fundamentals, Arsenal, and yeah, I think Cells probably is still what we want to call it. Shrink it down a little bit so it feels a little more fitting with the others. Say the word little too much. Fundamentals, Arsenal, Cells. I think that works pretty good. I'll just pull this over to mirror this one a little more closely. Fundamentals, Arsenal, Cells. Cool. Okay, so now let's set you to, I believe it's called Big Tutorial. I called it? Yeah, Big Tutorial. Okay, so let's go back to Big Tutorial. And let's Control X. Let's just move it. No, it keeps trying to do this. What about that, maybe? Then go to Tutorials. Let's just make a new one, call it Tutorials 2. Just so we have a nice, concise place to have all of our stuff here. Okay, we'll move it in the File Explorer. That'll be a little easier. So we'll go to Maps. Go to Tutorials. Or no, that's in Story Intro Outro. And it is called bigtutorial.umap. And we'll drag Big Tutorial over to Tutorials 2, paste it. This can't be completed because it's open in the Unreal Editor. Okay. You know, fine. We'll do that later. But if you had a white outline to the text, I think it would make it look nicer. I actually agree with you. I don't love how the text looks right now. Oops, I hit the V button, which causes you to clear the level in a level that isn't capable of being cleared. Yeah, I agree. I've been trying to fiddle with it a little bit. It's just rendering text as text materials in 3D space in Unreal is kind of janky. So I'll probably need to do some research to get that working. But I think that's an astute observation. 99% of ramblers quit right before they get their point across. Keep talking. Usually when I'm rambling, I stop myself. I'll physically go like, boop, and then start from the beginning. Because I just start talking. I talk much faster than my brain thinks. So I'll start saying stuff, and then try to correct myself as I'm saying, like mid-sentence as I'm saying my thought. And then it just ends up in me not saying anything, and just just uttering gibberish. Okay, but we'll fix that for now. Or fix the position later. But now what I want to do is tweak the visuals of this level a little bit. So let's get rid of the tutorial checker and make that sign. Yep. And then this will be super dark. Yeah. And then I think the blue as the floors would look pretty good. And then tutorial checker dark we can make Hellgrass. Hellgrass. No, we want that to be dark sign. Yeah, I think that looks really good. Yeah, I like this color palette a lot more. Yeah, I'm fucking with that. Feels kind of more tutorial-y too, I think. Okay, let's just go to the doorways, wherever they may be. I got lost. Where am I? Okay, yeah, we'll go to the doorway sections, and then get all the left and right sides of the doorways with the lighter Hellgrass. So that's just Hellgrass. Oh, we don't have that one yet. Let's go ahead and get that in there then. Hellgrass Dark. Then if we do a little sign, there we go. Now you got this nice value distinction between those two parts. Okay, yeah, in this part we're gonna have to manually texture now. Color scheme reminds me of Portal. All we need now is a room we start with a radio in it. It is kind of Portal-y, actually. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It does feel more clinically scientific-ish, which, you know what, I do think works pretty good. Let's go ahead and add Tutorial Checker Dark 2 for these slopes we've got going on. Alright, and then these parts will all want to be... want these to be sign. Then these will be... no. We want to undo those. These should all be super dark. Yeah, there we go. This will be super dark. This will be super dark. Oh, that'll be super dark. Oop, where am I? Oh, this is just a hell room. Something in there. And I think the edges of this will all be super dark. Okay, now we gotta go through the maze and select a bunch of little walls. Gotta make sure we don't miss anything. These all to sign. There we go. Accepted. Hold on, it's loading. Okay. There we go. Then set you to Tutorial Checker Dark. Tutorial Checker. There we go. Actually, you know what? Now we have kind of a contrast problem here. Set you to just dark. Yeah. Now it sticks out a little more. So one contrast issue is I feel like this room kind of blurs a little bit. So I think what we're gonna do is get in here with Cube Grid and add some columns and stuff for extra detail, because that's kind of pretty prevalent in a lot of the aesthetics of the hub area itself. Is these sorts of pillars. So I think that will both improve the aesthetics of what we're going for here, but it'll also add a good bit more contrast and thus improve the overall sight lines. Just ignore that it's very slightly off-center. If you don't mention it, I will mention it. Is that 2, 3, 4, 5 over? 3, 4, 5. Oh, I added another. Whoops. There we go. Okay, then we'll add a pillar in here, and I think I might change the pillars to be something else. Although maybe dark sign is kind of nice. Maybe it would just work better if there were more of them. Maybe. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. Excuse me. Yeah, pillars. Let's go. You should make a darker version of the blue squiggle for the stairs instead of using the blue rock. Oh, don't worry. We got that. Oh, okay, so you were seeing me making that change. Portable instead of evil robot, they got a giant frog. OCD is going overdrive right now. Well, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of little visual inconsistencies in a lot of places of the game. Just letting you in. I won't say where, but there is not a not insignificant amount of places where things are just kind of uneven. Okay, get these guys going. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works. Makes this place feel a little nicer. Whoop. Accidentally summoned stairs. Okay, so let's get these guys down. Extra pillars in the corners here. Although maybe, maybe not here. I think this will make this part feel a little too cramped. Yeah, we don't really need them there. Whoops. Nope. 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 Hold on. Whoop. Nope. Yep. There we go. There we go. Okay. Easy freaking peasy. Now what we'll do is grab Dark Sign. And this is my favorite part of developing this game, which is going around and slowly grabbing each individual side of all the columns I've just made and making sure that they're all correct. And I'm not being sarcastic, I love doing it. It's not tedious. It's not really tedious, but I keep insisting on using columns because they look nice. And they add a good bit of visual detail and depth for not a lot of extra effort. It's like Minecraft rules, you know? You want to add a little depth in there. Oh god, I didn't even think about this room. I have to make sure I get all the faces of all of them. Alright, let's just go around and get the back sides now. Nope. And it's close to the wall too, so you have to like just barely position your camera in the right spot so you can select all the right faces without clipping in and out of the wall or grabbing the wrong wall. Or it's great. It's awesome. And the best part is it's entirely self-inflicted, because like I said, for some reason I insist on placing pillars down in every level I make. Okay. Assign active material. There we go. Now we got pillars, baby. Oh shit, I forgot about this pillar. The side of this pillar. There's definitely gonna be places that I miss, by the way. Even in the final game, there's gonna be something that's like not quite textured correctly or something. I'm just telling you straight up, that's an inevitability. I know me. I know my brain. My brain's dumb. It don't work too good no more. Not after the incident. So that's just how things are. Okay, Hellgrass Super Dark. And then you and you, set you to sign. Nope, that's not it. Tural Checker, there we go. Alright, we're good. How fast do you think someone would go insane coding the Void Collector weapon swapping system in the Source engine? Probably pretty quickly, because I don't know a ton about Source, but I know that people are not the craziest fans of, let me reshuffle my playlist real quick. I know that the Hammer editor is like kind of a hellscape, right? No, it keeps playing the same songs. Let's play Sound Test from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. There we go. Turn the music up a little bit. That one's hard to... You should hear this one loud and clear, because this song goes crazy. Okay. Unfortunately, I have to go, but good luck with the rest of the stream. Thanks for tuning in, Oro. I'd scoured through the entire game for texture errors. They'll be there. What was the incident? Don't worry about that. Just took an hour and a half to create the first enemy, and it's because it broke halfway through. Hey, only an hour and a half for making one enemy? Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm gonna say this while Eraser's here. Because I've been thinking about ideas for a Void Collector 2. And first things first, no promises on when, right? Now, I've got a lot of ideas and I'm very excited about working on it, but, you know, it'll happen when it happens. I'll probably do another project in between. But, all my disclaimers out of the way, I've thought about things I would want to change or do differently for a sequel, and one of the things, I think, is that I would make each enemy way more to them, And I was thinking, like, would it be better to have less enemies, but those enemies are way more fleshed out, or more enemies that are kind of simple, but you have more, like, one-off enemies? And that's kind of the thought process I've been thinking. Like, there'd be simple, like, things. Like, I was thinking if I were to bring back a Gunther or a Gunther-like enemy, I would want them to, instead of just having, like, the shoot, I would want to do different animations, so they'd shoot, and then shoot over the head, and, like, shoot between the legs or something. And it would be functionally the same, but it would be those little extra animations that really give it more pizzazz. And, like, more animations like having a dedicated falling animation, or having different stages of a hurt animation. More animations that are complicated or move a little bit more, have more exaggeration and vibrancy to them. And these guys will be in 3D, most likely. So that'll give me even more options for what I can do. Because one of the biggest issues with making all these enemies 2D is, well, specifically the issue is that they always face the player at all times. And the problem with that is just that you can't really do things like that require getting around, or more positionally based enemies. There's certain limitations that I've sort of put on myself by the way I make my enemies. But by making them 3D, that opens up a lot of opportunities. Point is, I got a lot of ideas. Void Collector 2 confirmed. I think it's been confirmed for a while now. Yeah, I've definitely stated that I want to and am excited about making a Void Collector sequel. It is certainly no surprise, or no secret. But, you know, a lot of those things we'll have to wait till this game comes out first, see what people think, see what the common critiques are, and then take those into account. You know, feed that back into making it even better. Okay. Let's go ahead and copy this guy over. Rename you to tutorial to Arsenal. And we'll just get rid of cube grade output. Get rid of the background props too. And, you know, we can just get rid of everything, basically. Except the deathplane. Don't really want to get rid of the deathplane. Oh, okay, we also got rid of the end portal. We don't really want to do that either. Whoops. Where's the end level? Right there. Okay, so we'll select everything underneath. Look at all that. What is this? Why is the post-process shaped like that? Oh, I must have been building the post-process in a cube grid. That's really funny. Okay. There we go. Alright, now we can take it from the top. And all we're gonna have to do is go to materials, and then add asset reference, and then we go PPI cell shader. Oh, wait, where's the cell shader? Is it not called PPI? I mean, it's PP, not PPI. Haha, he said PP. That's funny. Alright, so let's start by thinking through what we want this tutorial to accomplish. Whoops. You know what? First thing we'll do, actually, we'll play through the old tutorial and see where things could be improved. Yeah, so shoot these guys with the right pose. This is something I did, where these dummies will only take damage from the correct weapon. Which I think is a pretty decent idea. Is that Kimberly, or is that fucking the default? Oh yeah, and this is an old enemy that was made before the game had a name or really any ideas. I just drew a couple sprites for testing purposes. Is that Kimberly? It is Kimberly. It just looks a little weird. This uses the Roboto? 3D. You don't look correct. Whatever, I'll fix that later. What do I have to do with Void Collector 2? Oh, because I was talking about Gunther would have silly new animations, so I brought him back. That's all. Because he was Gunther related, that's it. Welcome back, level building streams, we missed you. Kimberly BL is the font that I use. It's the main font you see in the top right. It's the one you see in all the text. It's this font. I love it. It's a fantastic font. Okay, so yeah, so this is okay. I think bits like this, where it shows you how the weapon is practically used, is pretty good. But one of the big things that I think it really lacks is teaching you how this arsenal synergizes together and giving the player a better understanding of how it all works in conjunction with one another. Like, I think giving you a place to test all your weapons is not a bad thing. But I think in execution, this could definitely use some fine-tuning, to be sure. Like, I think this is pretty good. Like, I think that works. And, but I think, like, the special weapons should probably be in their own category. Something else that Oro brought up that I think is a good point is that you don't really understand what the relative HP is, so you don't really know how much damage this stuff actually does to enemies. So I think I'll probably want to have like a Slapmo or something, like, be like the baseline, or a Bouncer could be a baseline since he is kind of the standard enemy. He's like the enemy that a lot of other things were designed around, so that might be good. To give you like a good frame of reference, maybe. Maybe that'd be good. So, okay. Maybe we would want to split like a couple different corridors or something you could take, like different rooms that have different things you could test out. Like, maybe one room is kind of like this, where like you just go through and you can test all your different weapons out with different functions. And you'd have little murals or something for each of the weapons that tells you how they work. And then maybe like another room that's dedicated to like synergy. Maybe that would be good. That could be not bad. I'm thinking of my dome. Yeah, because I think the key things that we're not teaching in this version that would be really, really good to know are Q and E, because that is not taught at all. It's not even mentioned. Which I have completely forgotten to re-implement into the tutorials, which I think would be really, really important to know. We need to teach the reset key, which I think I'll probably do in the fundamentals tutorial. I think that would probably be the best place for it, or maybe in like advanced stuff, something in like the cells category. Yeah. So we need to make sure we teach Q, E, and R, so the reverse saving and loading your poses. That would be really good to teach the player. What else? What else do we need to have? And then synergy. I think those would probably be the main things. We could split it up into understanding your weapons, so like using all your weapons, advanced controls or like advanced tips, and then synergies. That could be good. What does multiplier actually multiply? Yeah, it's max juice. Unreal Engine default font makes me shriek and die. Every time I see that in a game or something, I'm like, come on, man, you couldn't even be bothered to make like a custom or like download a custom font. Like that's what they use in that freaking in like FNAF Security Breach. I'm pretty sure like the font that they use for like the loading screens is just default like Unreal Engine Roboto. It's like, come on, guys, come on. Surely we could step things up a little bit, just a little bit. I don't think that's asking for a lot. Makes me happy you made sure I was there for the Gunther mention. Hey, I got you. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know, let's make this 19, 20. And then this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll put something in the smack dab middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it'll be 3 long. Then we do boom, boom, boom. Like that. like this, like that, like this, like that. Okay, then pull the sides in. Probably should explain what I'm doing, huh? Because I'm just kind of go moding it right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, yeah. So what I'm thinking here is that we'd have these different corners of the map you could visit. So if we add floating text right here. Set your rotation to 180 degrees. For some reason, it is invisible when it's against the unlit material. I don't really know why, but it is. So that's strange. Just the default font. The default font was the one that's over the dummy's head. This is still, it's still for some reason rendering it out as the default font. But look up Roboto if you wanna see what the default is. Now I'm curious, what's the max multiplier? I believe it's 20. You can see that in Big Windmill, I believe, if you get a Voltaic Plus. So we'll have this say exit. You know, we'll put the text in later, but this will be the exit door. Oops. So you can take your leave whenever you'd like. So we'll have weapons, or maybe weapons. Advanced techniques and synergy. That could be good. Does that line up? It does line up. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, you know what? We'll pull this over slightly. Yeah, we'll pull that over. Yeah, so those will be where our rooms are. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get our doorways up. Okay. So which ones do we want to start with? Probably just the generalized, like, weapons room. It's probably gonna be our best bet, I would imagine. And here, I'll probably make, like, little custom murals for all the weapons, just so you can kind of get an idea of what they do. Why is there always a sunset in the east, text in the introduced in the void? So I use a plugin that is called Good Sky. Yeah, right here. I don't know why it always says sunrise in the east, because that's not the... It has different presets for... different sky types. I don't usually use the presets because I would prefer to do all the customization myself, but Sunrise in the East I believe is just like the first default preset that it comes preloaded with, and for some reason it just always says that, even if that's not the preset that is actively being used. Yeah, again, couldn't tell you why. So we'll have, yeah, the weapon playground, advanced techniques, and synergies. Yeah. So the main synergies that I think of is this, and then this, and then this. So those will probably be the ones I highlight on, because those are the ones I think would be the most generally useful for a player and good to know. And then I'll let them discover everything else on their own. But like this one, this especially I think is a really, really fun combo that would be good for more people to know about. And it kind of does go a little underlooked, especially since I don't teach the player right now that this does critical hits to mid-air enemies. No, we'll make this taller. So it should be about 3 up from the door. Yep, 3 up from the door. Cool. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, we'll finagle it as we go along. Okay, so naturally the player tends to go in and left. So this is where we can sort of start out the fundamentals, your fundies, as it were. So we'll get a dummy down. And yeah, I mean this part will be pretty basic. We don't really need to do anything too complicated for the good old classic. It's a very basic weapon. It's not really a whole lot to it. So we'll have our mural right here. Tells you what it does. Very basic. Then we can have our double barrel section right here. So we can put like the billboard right here, or right above it maybe. And then, let's see. Why Beef City? Also think Gang Beasts beat you to that name? Aw, damn, they got something called Beef City? I guess it's not that surprising. So the reason that the setting, or where the thing's getting attacked, or you'll get it if you read the memorabilia. The reason it's called Beef City is because everything is just themed around meat names. So like the main guy's daughter, if you read the memorabilia, her name is Roulade. Main guy's Bourguignon, which is a beef dish, a French beef dish. So a lot of things are just, a lot of the characters, like the non-cell characters, like the human characters, I guess, and places are named after meat dishes. Now why? I don't know. Funny. I'm a simple man. So I did like what I was cooking with, in the tutorial section for the bill pair earlier on, which was this sort of thing. So you have these two different platforms where you can snipe stuff. But I think I'll also add a new section here. Let's put a little wall here, a little barrier. Here we go. One extra here. Yeah. Also, we can put in the pillars. It's all about the pillars, baby. It's all about the pillars. Spent an hour and a half making the first ending, only take 10 minutes for the second one. Yeah, that's how it goes, yeah. The first Void Collector enemy took much longer than the sequential ones because I had built so much of the fundamentals already. It just goes easier. That is how it typically would go. So I want to show to the player that, you know, that you can get critical hits on airborne enemies. So how I'm going to do that is like this. Let's put a dummy here. Then what we'll do is we'll go to Props, Hub and Tutorials, make a new blueprint, make it an actor, call it BP Workbox, and then set a new variable, call you BP Dummy, expose that on spawn, and we'll call that Dummy, and we'll say event overlap. Oh, we need to add a collision box. There we go. And then when you overlap the player on component begin overlap, other actor dummy equals. So if the other actor, so if whatever it's overlapping, if that is in fact the same thing that we've set as the dummy, then it'll work like that. And if it is true, then it will set after location, and we'll say warp spot, and we'll make that a vector. So plug in the warp spot here, like that. So then we'll set up our warp box right in the middle section here. Extend it out like that, so it covers the entirety. There we go. And real quick, just so the player doesn't get jammed under here, we will just do this. like that. There we go. Okay, so we'll set the dummy reference there. And the warp spot will be... I can just plug it in the variables, so that way it'll go right... Whoops. Alright, like that. There we go. So we grab all of these guys. Like that. Yeah, it's Borderland, baby. Let's go. It's funny you made me canonically embarrassed about being French. You know it wasn't really the intent, but yeah, it's true. Make it so when you enter ghost mode, the music becomes more spooky. Yeah, I would like to do that. We'll see if I can. Because I could slow... Maybe I'll just, like, slow the pitch down or something. It's just the way that I've coded the music is a little bit odd, but I like the idea. Okay, let's go to the dummy, and let's set the gravity scale to be half, so that way they're a little easier to shoot when they're falling. You know what? Okay, so changing the gravity scale didn't actually change the, they still end up falling the same amount of speed. Maybe it's mass, probably? So what if I lower their mass? Nope, it's still falling. Okay, now it seems like it's falling even faster now somehow. Okay. Unreal, how to make something fall slower. Okay, and I did that. I did gravity scale, but it's still... okay, Unreal, how to lower terminal velocity. Oh, they have something called set terminal velocity? No? You lied to me, Reddit. What the heck? I was lied to. Get velocity, clamp? I guess I'd manually clamp the velocity. Oh, because it's for physics. Physics. Okay, you have to do something custom. If you want to change their velocity, you have to do something custom. Okay. Alright, I'll do that later. That'll be annoying. But whatever. Now you gotta shoot and target. You can try to hit out of the air. That's kind of fun. Bow now. Bow bow. Bow now. Bow now. Bow bow. Bow now. Bow now. Bow bow. Yeah, so this will be like, hey guys, here's the pistol. Here's the double barrel. Here's the bill pair, showing you all the different aspects of it you can try. Is the brain ever even used? Max acceleration is something different for vertical falling. Acceleration is just the movement speed on the ground. The brain is not used. It was planned to be used, because the idea is that you'd have pickups both for juice and for brain, because obviously the juice icon is used. And that reminds me, add juice pickups to some levels, because I forgot to put them in. But it was going to be a pickup that would fully heal you. It just kind of hasn't been that valuable. Like, I think just having you get the health back from shooting enemies has kind of worked better than just having designated health pickups. So that's why that hasn't really gotten any use, as it were. Okay, but now we got these. Fuck. Hold on, I gotta hit it. Red, 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 red. Shit! Red, 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 red. Damn it! It's too fast. I can't hit it. How much health does each enemy have? So enemies will fall into a health threshold. So the specific numbers aren't super important as long as they hit a certain amount. Like, for example, I won't go through all of them, but most enemies fall into the Slapmo pool. So the majority of enemies will have... where's your... oh, character, there we go. Health. So most enemies will have 12 health, which means that they can be killed by a 1-2 combo. But heavier enemies, like Bouncer and Bat Bastard, for example, have 14 health. So it's only 2 additional health. So you can either do a 1-2-3 to kill them, or you can 1-tap them with one of these combos instead. So that's how that works. Okay, so now we got the first 3 weapons, our fundamental guys. Let's go to, real quickly, let's turn on assist mode, just so it's a little bit easier to remind myself of the weapons and what order they're probably, that I ordered them in. Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, so probably these 2 next. Yeah, because the order is, basic offense, so the 3 most simple, like, easy-to-use offensive moves. Then we've got the more niche attacking moves, which are these 3. And we've got the 2 movement-focused ones, and then the 2 special meter ones. So that's how the weapon wheel is divvied. Pop, pop, bop. Okay, so next what we want to do is introduce the Dragon Killer's Punch, which we could introduce like a second floor, and that's how you get up there. That could be good. Is that gonna jam you in the ceiling? No, you'll be fine. There we go. Okay, so I think we could have maybe like a fling bomb section right here, and then you access the second floor here by using the DKP. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, I think we'll also have a section like this that goes out a little bit for target practice. So you can, like, get an idea, get a good feel for how far the bombs will fly. So what we'll do is we'll have one that's kind of close on a simple platform. And then I think we'll have one that is upwards. So you have to be a little bit more precise with your aim. So it'll be like that and like that. I think that'll work pretty good. And then we can put a small cluster of them right here so you can test out the AoE properties and get a feel for it. I'll probably also just make an infinite juice regen spot as well. Okay, so then we do uppercut. Probably have enemies here and here so you can get a feel for how uppercutting enemies works. Extend you out, so we have some space to work with up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, I was kind of thinking, I was kind of planning for the tutorial overhauls to take, like, pretty much a full week left of development, because there's really not much left to do. So a lot of I was going to do this, and then save the last week for just polishing and bug fixing and stuff, and all that final last minute prep, but I really don't think that getting the tutorials revamped is going to take more than a couple of days. What meme speedrun categories do you think there'll be? So probably one of the biggest ones would be Gimme Only, because that happened. People were doing that during the speedrun contest. So provably that one has some intrigue. I also think that this will have... Look at this one. What is there M down in the corner? So that is the assist mode icon, which actually I need to... That's a good reminder. Draw assist mode icon. But that'll show up whenever you're in assist mode, just as a little reminder. A little visual detail. Yeah, so you'll uppercut your way up here. And then, let's see, so that'll have been all of these guys here. So then we'll probably introduce the prod. Let's say the prod's like in this corner. Yeah, we'll have a prod corner here, which that one doesn't really need anything other than just having some enemies, having some dummies to test out on. Now the gimme is a little different. Same with the rock on. I might actually pull all this back a little bit. Yeah, here's what I'm thinking we can do. We just do a gap. Like that. Yeah, let me set a little staircase there. So you can't just jump there, right? No, I can't. Okay, so you could just do, you know, a charge dash, of course, because this is essentially the same thing as a charge dash, but instant. But you know, that's fine. You're actually gonna want to move this. Yeah, and we'll move it back a little bit because I do think if you push it out a little more, that does give people a slightly better idea of how valuable it actually is if you get to see it in its intended context. Yeah, I think that'll do the trick. Pretty good. Then extend this bit out like that. There we go. Then once you're up here, I think we'll have a little gimme tutorial. Out this way. So we put an enemy up there. Grab a dummy. Put him right on the ledge there. So what you gotta do is it'll be like, oh, how does this work? And you go, bam. And it'll teach you how to use it. Assist mode. Oh yeah, it just, I guess I didn't mention why it's an M. It just uses the mediocre icon right now. So it's, yeah, for the mediocre mini icon for when you see it in the hub area. So that's why it's an M. But yeah, this will teach you that aiming it upwards is a good strategy. What if you had to curl around using a charge dash and 2 rock-ons? That'd be interesting. Maybe I could put that in the advanced section or the synergy section, something like that. That could be good. Okay, so yeah, you'll do this section, and this teaches you how to use the gimme. And then up here we can test the player a little bit on the specials. Yeah, and then it can dump the player back out right in the middle once they're done. So then, yeah, we can put something up here for trying out the bird and trying out the detonator. Which now, used to have to, you could only place it with a full meter, but now you can place it without a full meter, you just can't detonate it without a full meter. So theoretically, you could go up to an enemy, place it down, while your special meter is drained, wait for it to refill, and then detonate later. Fingers you have to activate to make the fling weapon confuse me. Yeah, I've seen that kind of be an issue, which is why I think if I lean in on the synergy elements more, it'll become more intuitive, because all you gotta do is get to the bill payer and then press 4. It's just one button away from 4. Or from this. You just press 4 when you're in this, and then you get the fling. So that's why this is such a strong synergy, is you do 1, 2. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Which, yeah, that's what System Fan's saying. And if I stress that those two are intended to be a combination, then I think it better will make those feel intuitive to access. Okay, and then we'll link that back up later once we've got everything else figured out. I do think I want to shift this back over towards the middle, now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm running that idea around on my dome. Yeah, and we'll make these little hallways, just so we have slightly more space to work with. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Cool. Okay, so this room, I think I'll probably leave blank for now, because I'll have to figure it out once I get some of the signs up. Make one of the signs. But the main point of this room is going to be to teach you Q, E, R, Q, E, and R, plus also mentioning the weapon wheel and assist mode. It's like, hey, if you're having trouble, consider using this. Shouldn't thumb and middle finger be the ones that are activated? Yeah, you're thinking kind of inverse. Because, like, the ones that are in, the fingers that are actually pulled inwards are these two. Because if you press pinky, then it pulls the pinky in. It does look a little strange, but I get why there's confusion there. But, like, it kind of looks, like, if you look at it like this, before it makes the whole animation, I think it makes a little more sense. Okay, but we'll worry about this room later. Hold on, let's get rid of this one. Oh, hell yeah, we got Battle Dot Vengeance, or Dot Vengeance, from SMT5 Vengeance. Okay, and then this will be the Synergy Room, which I think I probably will only do 2 synergies for this one, 2 basic synergies, because the tutorial Deathplane stuff, or the Deathplane bouncing, where you do this, is kind of saved for later once you have a better grasp of the inverter. And that's already its own, like, tutorial level. That's that's near the World 4 area, since it's more relevant to World 4. So I think that's fine as is. So we'll dedicate this room to teaching the good old 1-2, and then the fling combo, the fling bill payer combo. So we'll have this half of the room be the, or we're gonna extend it out a little bit. So we can have that combo, something like that. And, you know, worst case scenario, these tutorials aren't that great, and we just sub the old ones back in, and that'd be fine. Not preferable, but it'd be fine. Okay, so I kind of can't do anything else until I make those signs. Okay, yeah, I think this will probably be it for today. Throat's getting a little sore, as always does by 2 hours into talking. I need to get some stuff for my poor throat, I think. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you so much to everybody who decided to tune in. As always, I really appreciate all the support, viewership, and all that. 2 weeks away from the game being done, which is very exciting. Not a whole lot of time left, but there's really not much left that needs to be done. I think I can probably get these tutorials done in just a couple of days. And then, shoot, it's just going to be a lot of bug fixing and testing. Alright, well, I'm going to do the good old classic Seth move of the random cutoff. Yeah, Mr. Jonas calling it there. Alright, let's spin the wheel.